I'm done.
Let me just say this. I don't know if that last suit is or skin is the incentive I need to finish this battle pass this season.
You know what it was? For me, it was the incentive to get the variant of the chicken suit.
What is the variant of the chicken suit?
It's red and black.
Yeah.
When do
It looks really good.
When do you get that?
You have to have completed 65 of the rare challenges.
Oh, fantastic. I'm close.
Yeah. So I completed that and I was like, I'm at 96. I'm like, yeah, I'll just bang it out.
Yeah. I'm not buying, like, I bought way too many skins this season. I'm not buying anymore because I bought the grimy skin. I got that one. And then I bought the Knights of the Dinner Table skins. And then I bought something else. And I was like, I've got to quit. Oh, the Batman skin. The Batman armored skin was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought about that one, but I had just bought the one where when you kill someone, your suit changes.
That's grimy.
Oh, is that grimy where it's like the smiley faces?
And he's like, and then I had to buy two Meowscles too.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty good actually.
So I subscribe to DC Universe for the codes. And I'm going to pay for it until the codes are over, and then I'm done.
Nice.
Because
my son the little animated short with Meowscles.
Why? Anyway, we need to do this. We need to do this.
We need to. Jesse, you gonna cue us up?
Hang on just a second.
We're live.
Oh,
surprise!
Yeah. Hey, can I ask a clarifying question before we started?
Nope.
Community thing here with the games. I thought that I thought the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I thought Mario 3 was already in.
Nope. Everything that's listed there is what we had.
Are we not doing it in connection with the Hall of Fame that's already there?
No, it's our own.
Oh.
It's our own Nintendo Dads Video Games Hall of Fame.
There's a document in the share that has last year's results. What we said is this year's results, and then what's being voted for are the patron edition.
Well, Grandpa Marty's going to have a talk with people about their video game taste.
Wanda Gemelin?
Some of those aren't going to make it, even though they made it on the list. And I'm
going to tell you what it is, Chief, and it's not freaking Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
No, I know which one you're talking about.
Is it NHL 94?
No, that's already on the list.
Oh. All right, we should probably start a show.
You do have one of my elements.
The best day in the world will be the day that I no longer hear anything about NHL 94 Rewind.
Well, that's coming up in the topic today. So
God bless him. Like, he really keeps that going. Here's the thing, though. Here's the deal. If that game comes out, we fund that game for him.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm sure by the time we say we fund it for him, he'll already have bought it.
No, we'll buy it for him. We're going to head him off at the pass.
All right.
And then he has to do a video.
Yeah. All right. We doing this thing? Tim, do you want me to do opener or do you want to do opener? Your call.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the opener.
Marty, you're hosting?
Sure.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. Everybody ready?
Yeah, whenever you are, sir.
All right. 3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 326, recorded on May 13th, 2021. On tonight's episode, we talk about very little news, a lot of rumors, and a dump trunk full of community comments and questions. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 326 of Nintendo Dads. It's May 13th, 2021, 2 days before the most important day of the year, otherwise known as my birthday. On tonight's show with me, all the way from the Great White North, drinking something, Justin Masson.
What is going on? Good, thank you. I'm drinking my Amaretto and Coke. Finishing off, getting hyped for this. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited. We are less than 30 days from the greatest Christmas gift that the video game industry has. And we are on the hype train for E3. Man, I am excited. I'm getting my energy back. I'm getting riled up. Oh,
wow, you just went full Matt Foley there, like Chris.
Like that?
Chris Farley, yeah.
Chris Farley, yeah. I also think when I did that, I just pulled something in my neck. It really hurts all of a sudden. Speaking of a guy who's sometimes 40s. A pain in my neck and my ass, ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Waldack.
You're welcome.
Jesse, how are you, sir?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's been still been a busy week, but at work. But today was kind of a nicer, slower day, and hopefully we can keep that going. But we'll find out what happens next week.
I was, you know what? Here's the thing. I paid for this entire seat. I was on the edge of it the entire time you talked about that. Speaking of the guy who's always on the edge of his seat, ladies and gentlemen, Tim!
Hi, Dads. How are you?
And somebody came over to sloth mode.
No, I would say...
What was the name of that sloth from Zootopia?
I don't remember,
Tim.
But
it's Tim.
It
was something like Speedy or something.
Chat, let us know. Chat, I see you. Let us know.
Fred Speedy. I think that's what it was.
Seriously, the reason why I did that slow is because I feel like this week was slow for me. But maybe not for some of you, but for whatever reason, this week was really
I thought
slow.
you were just counteracting.
Like I'm sitting here late on a Thursday night, and I'm like, where did it go? So I need to get some.
For me, it was just like finally it got
over
here.
There. Well, guys, we are here, and we've got a full show for you tonight, mostly because we have the greatest community in the world. And so let's just dive into the news, shall we?
Do it! Press the buttons! Press them quickly so we can move on. Do it!
I request that you do that every week from now on.
His name was Flash Slothmore.
Flash Slothmore. Okay, I didn't even know he had a last name. I just knew it was
Neither did I.
Flash. Well, guys, our news is brought to us each and every week by you fine folks over at patreon.com/NintendoDads, where for $1 a month, you can join in to our fantastic community that brings us what Tim said is a dump truck full of questions. And it really is. It really is.
Dump trunk.
Did I say dump trunk?
No, Tim said dump trunk. And I was like, I'm just going to let that go.
I'm going to let that
I was
go.
trying to let it all come on. That's why I was laughing. I couldn't
From now on, that's what it is. It's a dump trunk. And so you can head over there to patreon.com/NintendoDads, or just go to our website, nintendodads.org, and you'll find some links to join in to the community and help us create more fantastic content. And guys, can I just say this? I
see you.
I don't know if this has been talked about on the show or not. I'm just going to throw this out here. There is some behind the scenes planning going on for what could possibly become DadCon 2021. Whether it happens or not, it really depends on us. So,
really, so it probably won't. Let's be honest.
Right. It'll just be, DadCon is just going to be a week of Justin messaging everyone on the Discord server saying, you interested?
Yeah, there's a lot of me doing that nowadays. You interested? We should just have a little gif of me interested.
Yeah, I like it.
Speaking of really cool things happening on our Discord, and you're like, listen, Nintendo, yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm kind of into Nintendo. Yes, maybe I'll pay $1. Sure, why not? But ladies and gentlemen, man, am I excited to announce, if you haven't already, if you aren't in the Discord, you haven't found out, ladies and gentlemen, we have added a brand new show to the podcast family. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not Nintendo orientated. We've heard the loud and clear cries of our community. The amount of times I get DM'd, I love the Nintendo dads, but you don't have this, you don't have that. Ladies and gentlemen, excited to announce, and you better head over, you better click the like, you better hit the subscribe, click the bell, do all that stuff. There is now a Xbox podcast on the Nintendo Dads family of shows, and that is the Game Pass News. What is it called?
Game Pass News.
Game Pass News, there it is. For all of you Xbox fans, then there is also a dedicated section in our Discord for Xbox content now as well. Now, if you're like, Justin, what about PlayStation? Here's my answer. Get stuffed, all right?
No. The answer
I don't need your dollar that bad. I don't need your dollar that bad.
If you're a patron of the show and you'd like to start a PlayStation podcast, reach out, talk to us. We'll do something. I just also realized for our non-visual listeners that I'm the only one who didn't have a Nintendo Dad's virtual background here on Zoom. And so now I do. And so everything's good. So Justin and guys, what that means is now on the Dad's family of podcasts, we have Nintendo Dads.
Yep.
We have Dads After Dark. We have Game Pass News. We have Retro Logic, and we have the Dinner Table. And you said, Marty, you didn't mention Dad Crossing. Well, here's the deal. The guys who did Dad Crossing are also doing Game Pass News, and Dad Crossing will return when there are updates or when there's
content.
They will return to their hosting duties and creating podcasts when Nintendo decides to return to their creating content for Animal Crossing.
That is a spicy take, and we're going to move on from there.
In other words, it's on a hiatus.
Yeah, a bit of a hiatus.
That is probably the first of a few spicy takes tonight. But let's talk about some news. Square Enix is going to host a live stream of announcements regarding Dragon Quest 35th anniversary on May 26th at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, because
it's noon Japan time.
Yeah, noon Japan time. This, like, I don't know. Look, I'm just to be honest. I don't know anything about Dragon Quest except it used to be called Dragon Warrior, and there's some slimes, and I don't know.
That's
Jesse,
all.
Why is this important? Why is what do you think we're getting here?
It's important because this will determine whether one of my predictions is true or not that I made back in January.
Yep.
So really, you just want to be right. That's what it comes down to.
Always.
It's a nice change.
So
yeah.
So things that people are expecting to hear, like, are we going to see more previous games getting ported to modern consoles? Like, will we see a Zenithian Saga on Switch, PS4, 5, Xbox, etc.? Will we get a port of 9? Will we get 12? Will we get some completely new spin-off that we've never heard of before? That's kind of what people are hoping for.
All right. So tune in on May 26th at 11:30 p.m. Japan time.
Well, no, it's 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, because it's noon Japan time on the 27th.
It's coming out of Japan, so I'm calling it Japan time.
I see what you mean. As opposed to Jesus time and other times.
It's Japan. It's originating there. It's 11:30. It's 11:30 Eastern if you want to watch. And Jesse, should I buy Dragon Quest 11 for Switch?
I think you should. I think everyone should. If you like
we're
RPGs,
we're gonna run a poll in the chat right now. We're gonna run a poll in the chat right now. Here it is. Should I buy Dragon Quest 11? Because it's been a long time since I played a real JRPG, and I don't like Bravely Default, and I don't like. I didn't like the.
And that's fair, because I don't like the Bravely Default.
I didn't like any of the. I don't like anything coming out because of the stupid battle system. And I know that Dragon Quest 11 is almost like a pure turn-based role-playing game.
Right.
I played the demo. I liked it. I need to know, should I buy Dragon Quest 11? If we get more yeses than nos, I'll buy it before the show's over.
Can we put a poll in Twitch? How do we do that? You do that, yeah. Poll / poll.
There's a way to do it. I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah, you do.
I say if you like turn-based combat, is yes.
How many hours is it?
It took me 120 hours to fully finish.
Holy, 120 hours?
I didn't 100% everything, but to get through the storyline of all 3 acts is 120 hours.
That is definitely 115 hours more than it should be. That feels like a lot of bloat.
Yeah, like
Also,
120 hours is like 120 hours. It's like a week of my life.
Yeah, that's how math
every
works.
Moment of it.
No, probably not. Ladies and gentlemen, also, man, I got some breaking news, Marty. You like hot news? You like spicy hot off the...
I love it.
Like hot off the press news? Like beep, 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 hot off the press? Can you say hello? Can you say thank you? Thank you to Michael Meza. Can you say that, Marty? Maybe a convicted thank you to Michael Meza.
Thank you, Michael Meza.
No more. I want more, Marty. Like
thank
you care.
You, Michael Meza.
Yes. Why? Because Michael Meza is a new Patreon supporter.
Yeah.
Yay.
See, that's what happens. I promise to buy. I say I'll buy games. People sign up. Thank you, Michael Meza.
Yeah, thank you, Michael Meza. Man, I'm tired already.
Here we go. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers,
there we go.
Michael Messner.
That early high is starting to crash on you.
Gonna be honest, I ate a lot of nachos with salsa and dip, and I feel like the decision was really bad. Now it wasn't 7-Eleven nachos, so I should probably, I'm not gonna have those like weird cheesy sweat dreams that you have with 7-Eleven nachos. That's just me. Okay.
Jesse,
all right.
Jesse, write that down. That's a show title right there. Weird cheesy sweat dreams. That's it. That's it. No matter, nothing else that's said. Anyway, May 26th, Dragon Quest 35th anniversary stream. Be sure to go check it out. Hey, guess what, Tim?
What?
Guess what, Tim? You're never ever getting a port of Metroid Prime Trilogy to the Switch.
Yes.
You know why? Because this week a former Retro Studios dev said in an interview that a Metroid Prime Trilogy port would, quote, take a lot of effort, so I'm skeptical it will never happen.
And I have an answer for that.
Or I'm skeptical it will happen. Okay, give us an answer.
He just gave us a clue saying that it's not a port. And that goes...
Nice.
He got you. You know what I'm saying? He got you back. You thought you had him. Boom, boom. There comes Tim. Boom, boom.
So you're not talking ports, you're talking remakes.
A remake, remaster.
So do you think that that's what they're working on as well as Metroid Prime 4?
I think that's what they should be doing, is leading up to Metroid Prime 4 with remasters, yes.
Again, so
is that what they're doing? I don't think so.
Yeah, and this developer doesn't work there anymore. And so he doesn't know what tools they have and don't have anymore. But, you know, the main gimmick about 3 was the motion controls. Everything was point at and click things.
So was Skyward Sword.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, listen, here's what I think we're going to get instead. I think you're going to get a 5-minute mini movie at the beginning of Metroid Prime 4. The story so far.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 3, the pachinko machine.
It's very hard to predict what Nintendo does. We all know that, right?
Sure.
What we think they should do, what other companies do, they would milk this and they would remaster it, making it better. Nintendo has done that before with their franchises like Fire Emblem and stuff, but will they do it with this? I don't know, because it's very hard to say, because it doesn't sell very well. It doesn't sell good enough. But I think too, if they want to try to reinvigorate this franchise, they might try again by doing that, by remastering it and bringing out maybe the first one. And then afterwards, you know, maybe 2 and 3 doesn't come out before 4 does.
So
but
maybe we don't see a trilogy. We just see individual releases.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I could be down with that, but
and it's been almost 4 years since the last game came out, which was a remake of a.
It's been a long time since
Game Boy game.
It's been a long time since Metroid Prime has come out, and I know there's a lot of people who are really excited about it, but I think that there's got to be something that's done ahead of time to bring in new audience members, like a remake, like a remaster.
Which could lead to that rumor we'll be talking about later too. So
sure, absolutely.
We currently also have an active poll on our Twitch right now of should Marty get DQ, and I presume what we mean by DQ is Dairy Queen.
That's correct.
And
should I go buy Blizzard tomorrow?
Right now it is in the lead with 2 votes.
Okay, I'm gonna go get DQ tomorrow.
This guy,
promise.
Cool.
Hey Jesse, I know you have an appropriate sound effect for this.
I do.
We're going to call this next little news bite, People Are Awful.
This one?
No, that wasn't the one I was thinking for. I was thinking more of like something sad.
Oh, okay.
Like this, People Are Awful. That's the one I was looking for.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to see when Jesse actually earns his paycheck. Do you know what I mean? Right, like it's a nice change.
Both of them. This could be a hot take that people are awful, but I don't really think it is. This week in the United States, Target and now Walmart have announced that they will no longer sell Pokémon the trading card game in store. Not only that will also include all MLB, NFL, and NBA trading cards. And I really assume this is probably going to extend out to trading cards in general. Target stores have already put this into effect by cleaning their shelves and putting up signs that say, beginning May 14th or May 13th, we will no longer sell Pokemon trading cards or trading cards in store due to or for the safety of our associates.
The safety of your associates?
Guess what happened, Justin?
America happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are getting into fist fights in stores over Pokemon cards.
And in one instance, a gun was drawn. Not fired, but still drawn.
This is the thing. This
Pokemon cards.
Hey. This is why we can't have nice things. Right? This is why.
Yeah.
The scalpers want the revenue and the YouTubers want the ad revenue from unboxings.
Yeah. So, again, we say people are awful. There it is. Now, if you're still looking for Pokemon cards, you can still buy them online from Walmart and Amazon and Target. They're just not going to be in stores. Walmart will probably be slower to roll this out because I was in a Walmart tonight and they had just put out a new display of Pokemon cards. So who knows? Yes, Tim.
So in regards to buying your trading card games at the big box stores, you shouldn't be doing that anyways, unless you do not have a mom and pop shop that sells those cards near you. Then yes, you can order them on Amazon or something like that, but go support your local game shop,
your friendly local game store,
and buy them from there.
My son,
FLGS.
I think last week my son bought like $150 worth of cards from Vintage Stock.
Wow. And here's what's driving this, y'all. The original super rares like Charizard, Arcanine, different things like that are going for mega bucks right now. Right?
Makes me wish I didn't toss my cards.
There's actually a backlog in among card grading sources. So many people are trying to get their cards graded for sale that they can't keep up, which is nuts. And look at there, Tim.
I have the 20th anniversary ones from
them's fighting words. As we say here in the South, them's fighting words.
Yeah, but I used to have cards from over 20 years ago.
I
still had them.
I had 4 Charizards.
I had none.
That's okay. You were lame. Moving on. I'm just kidding. No, it's probably us. I mean, when I'm 22, sitting in a card shop playing against 8-year-olds when I'm in college, probably don't need to be the one saying who's lame. And they were beating me. So yeah, not.
Those kids know how to play.
Just gonna leave it right there. The pain, the embarrassment. I'm just gonna leave it right there.
That's how I am at Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
Whenever I went there, they kicked my butt.
Yep. That's all our news. Let's move on to some rumors, shall we?
Buzz.
All right, guys. So the big rumor this week that we need to discuss that has Justin rubbing his hands together like some 80s villain in a cartoon, like Skeletor.
Yes.
By the way, can I just, as an aside here, can I say today that they finally showed some animation and stills from the Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe reboot that's coming July 23rd with Mark Hamill as Skeletor. Holy crap, it's going to be
Do you know what July 23rd is?
I need to look into that.
No.
The second best day in the entire calendar year.
That is your birthday.
And it's also the day Ted Lasso comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Which reminds me, I need to finish the last episode of Ted Lasso. Never finished it. Really, I just wanted to talk about He-Man so that I could do my Skeletor impression.
Nothing's holding you back.
He-Man, you boob!
Ladies and gentlemen, like that is why you show up here every single week. I see you. I see you solo something. I see you third strongest mole in the chat. This is why you show up to live shows.
Jesse, make sure you mark that down.
I'm clipping that.
Thank you.
Could I ask a question among 4 grown adult men here? Why was calling He-Man a boob an insult?
It's the 80s.
This could be like
people were mature then.
I'm just saying, like,
because that was a thing.
It's like one of the greatest things in the world.
Yeah,
and you're calling He-Man that.
Because they called people who watch TV.
And he would always like shake his hands above his head like this. He-Man, you boob. Everybody was a boob. Everybody got called a boob at one point.
Yes.
Masters of the Universe 80s cartoon, unwatchable.
Mm-hmm,
it's like GoBots. It's like I can't go back.
GoBots was unwatchable in the beginning.
But for the 6 or 7 year old me, or however old I was when that show was on, I bought the hell out of those toys. Or at least I had them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had the Castle Grayskull and like a dozen figures.
I had Eternia. Like the big thing with the tram. All right.
I also love how GoBots is also now a term that we use for basically a bad knockoff version of something. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh my god, have you seen those action figures? They're so GoBots, and you're like, oh yeah.
Amazon is Transformers. Wish, GoBots.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Very GoBots.
What's TikTok?
Let's make that a thing. Oh, that's so GoBots. That's a thing. Anyway,
can we get a shirt made that says that?
That's so GoBots. Oh my gosh. Can we get a shirt?
Megadads, the GoBots of the Nintendo dads. Yes.
Yes.
Who do I need to work to commission that right now? Can we get that up in our store? Can we get that up in our store by the end of today?
Like, it's like Nintendo dads equal Transformers, Megadads equal GoBots.
Yes. And then send John and Adam a shirt.
What if how about this? You commission Adam to make that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, we're doing it. You send the email tomorrow. No amount of money is too small.
Oh, no, I'm tired.
Here we go.
Let's
reel it back in, guys. I'm sorry. I Skeletoured us right off into oblivion there. The rumor that had Justin Masson acting like an 80s villain is this. Apparently, the rumor circulating is that the Super Mario Odyssey team is working on a brand new game starring Donkey Kong.
And
a 2.5D or 3D Donkey Kong game. Justin, I'm going to tell you this. We've had some tension in the past over Donkey Kong.
We have.
I'll say this. If that team makes a Donkey Kong game, day one. I'm in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like
Odyssey with Donkey Kong, I'm in.
And so this hit early this week, and I was like, oh man. And then we dug in. There's a whole list of rumors we're going to talk about here. But yeah, that was kind of the one that piqued my interest. And I think like we talk about what does Nintendo have in their folder coming up this year, right? And they do have these games. We've talked about them kind of like tangentially, but never really talked about like what the next version of that is. And it's the idea of really looking over and seeing like what are the ports that Nintendo brought from the Wii U and the franchises that could deserve like the next iteration of that franchise on the Switch. And I think definitely Donkey Kong, right? Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze sat out there for, I mean, that game, when was the original Tropical Freeze done? Like, because that was on the Wii U. Like, that was
2014,
2015, I think. And then the port was 2018, I believe.
I'm looking right now.
So I have to ask a question, though. How in the world are they able to work on this too?
September 2016.
You're okay. If what, Tim?
If we've already got news that Splatoon 3 is coming out. They're the team working behind Splatoon.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda 2, they've been working on.
I think you do have to remember that since the 3DS doesn't exist anymore. They haven't had to like separate their dev teams, so they actually probably have potentially more capacity for in-house work to be done. So I mean, this isn't overly shocking. I mean, this is interesting. I'm going to be very honest with you. I didn't actually think we were going to get this. I didn't think it was coming, but now it's kind of logical that it could potentially be coming in this year. I thought that team would have been working on another Mario. And maybe that's a 2022 game potentially.
I'm also showing that they're responsible for the new Labo 2 thing, 2.0.
The Garage Band or the Garage
the game builder garage, yes.
Yeah. I think Inuma-san has his own team separate that just does Zelda.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this leak, this information came from Zippos, and it's the leaker on this. And so again, we take rumors and leaks with a grain of salt, right? We don't know this to be actually true.
Hopes, low expectations.
Right, but they did say essentially that it's going to be new 2D developed by EPD Tokyo. Retro is obviously busy with other things, so Nintendo has taken it upon themselves to bring it back in as an internal series. That's really interesting. Right, Nintendo hasn't done that series in a long time.
I just wonder if that happens. I mean, are we getting Donkey Kong Country, or are we getting something completely different that changes the dynamic of that game?
They wanted to make it a different game.
The rumor says
last time they made a Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Junior Math or something like that.
So the rumor says do not expect the country moniker to return.
Right. Yeah.
So this may be a very different entry into it. As it says, they're not interested in making a sequel to the games that they didn't make. Diddy, Cranky, and the Kremlin crew should return. It sounds like the game is launching before the end of this year. E3 is most likely the announcement.
K. Rool back in? Yes. Yep. Yes.
This is exciting. This is exciting stuff.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
Because, like, Odyssey on the Switch.
An arena battler.
Let me say this. Odyssey on the Switch, 4 years in, still shines.
Yeah.
Wonderful, graphically wonderful, musically wonderful. Yes, I know it was disappointing for some people as far as like the missions and things, but guys, it's a precision perfect platformer. And that's what Donkey Kong needs. Mm-hmm. So
that's why I can't play it.
Kind of love and tear.
No, we don't. We don't need that.
I am all in on this. You know what? Oh man, Ninfrendo says, hope the DK game is closer to the Bowser Fury levels.
Ooh.
That would be open world, very cool. Like, I do not want a Donkey Kong 64. Get that out of my face. But but the thing that makes Donkey Kong, especially the versioning that I think in my head, is that platformer. Do you mean that 2D platformer kind of feeling that we get? And I mean, you know, Marty, we were playing Kaz in the Wild Masks recently, right? Has that Leslie has that feeling.
Bless you.
Thank you. We talk about Ukulele has those feelings. There's a lot of inspirations, and Nintendo could do a really good job on this as well. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. And again, I mean, Tim, it goes back to your question. Like, if they're doing a 2D platformer, maybe not a 3D, the resourcing may not be as necessary, right? In the same way as well.
They don't need to do it.
I like Johnny's comment.
Tim, I swear to God, I will come over there and I will strangle you.
Got enough Donkey Kongs.
I like Hambone Johnny's comment.
What's that?
DK Picross, get out of here.
There should be nothing else coming out except for a Metroid game.
All right, well, fine then. You want to talk? Fine, Tim. You want to talk about Metroid? You want to talk about Metroid? Fine. Let's talk about Metroid, because of course Metroid was included in this rumor also. 2D Metroid. 2D Metroid. So no, this is very, very interesting.
Let's go.
This is straight directly from the statement. Yes, a 2D Metroid from Mercury Steam 200% exists and is in fact done. All Nintendo needs to do at this point is announce it. Nintendo, and by extension, Sakamoto, and I don't know if that's the folks who, I don't know, internally is extremely happy with how the title turned out. The only thing I've heard recently is that the game is running at a smooth 60 frames per second. The hard prediction is the announcement is at their E3 Direct next month. Have some patient, bounty hunters. We're almost there.
And they developed the Metroid Samus Returns for 3DS.
Yeah. This happens. That's all I'm going to say.
You think this is going to happen? Tim, what do you think? And I wonder if
I want it to happen. I want it to be the sequel to Metroid Fusion.
Ooh.
That'd be nice.
That'd
be nice.
That story can't stay stuck in limbo forever.
Yeah.
Like, because I know, like when Prime 4 arrives, we're going to get more.
Mega Man's going to be on the moon forever, so.
I wonder if Nintendo is actually, and here's the interesting part. It's Metroid's anniversary. It's Donkey Kong's anniversary. It's Zelda's anniversary. We've always kind of joked that, Zelda's getting the limelight. I wonder if they're actually going to do a bit of a to-do with Donkey Kong and Metroid. And I wonder, and Tim, I know you're a Metroid fan, and I know maybe I'm teasing you. I'm a little bit of a flirt here. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if they're pulling together an actual Metroid event. I wonder if the reason Samus wasn't included in Fortnite was because they're going to do a special event that they really want to call that out specifically to. Like, I wonder if they're actually speculated
last week.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some pieces that are actually going to fall together for this, and they're going to make an actual proper event of this. Could you imagine what a Metroid 99 would look like?
Yeah, I speculated. I thought it'd be really cool to do like I speculated or did a whatever you call it. I can't think of the words right now, but the idea of doing a downwell type version of 99, but with Metroid, going up the type caverns that you would in a Metroid game, but
like the escape sequence of the first game at the end,
kind of like that, yeah. So,
man, so here's a couple things. This news gets me very excited, and I'm excited for you also, Tim, because I really hope that there is something out there for Metroid.
Well, and this is, especially being 2D, reaches out to a lot of fans, like Marty, because Marty you're a big 2D Metroid fan, so, and I like Metroid period, so it's going to reach out to a lot more fans other than just the newer fans of the 3D games than us old school gamers who like the 2D ones more and
I apologize, I actually just continued to read through this document that I'm referencing here for blog. There was actually an update to it today and they're being very clear here that the Donkey Kong game is a 2D game. So stop thinking it's a 3D game. It's not that. It's 2D. Okay. And that's fine, because that's exactly what I'm hoping for. That is exactly what I'm hoping for. In this other rumor, they talk about Fire Emblem. Moving on. They also said that it sounds like there's a Fire Emblem game. So let me just do a quick scan of it here. From what I've heard, Intelligent Systems has been working on a Fire Emblem title. They're developing separate from Three Houses on their own, and it's very close to nearly completion. While I haven't been told this part as of this writing, the fans seem pretty sure that this is going to be a remake of the Japanese-only Super Famicom title Genealogy of the Holy War. This makes total sense to me and would serve as a nice in-between while Kyo Tecmo works on the follow-up to Three Houses. Given this is nearly complete, an E3 announcement is also very likely.
Is that the really late Super Nintendo game? Then
they did reference a Super Famicom title. So in Japan,
it was released in May of '96, and
this kind of actually makes sense, right? Because they just recently did that port of the Japanese, the Nintendo one, right? So they're looking. I think really what this is, and like here's the reality of it. Fire Emblem, for quite a long time, was a franchise that people actually thought was probably going to die, because there was not kind of the appeal for it. It was very much a kind of Japanese and the East kind of centric game. Didn't quite grab the hold of the Western market. It has now grabbed the hold of Western market, and really is kind of like, if you look at the games that have been released, and we joke about it like, oh my gosh, another Fire Emblem character for Smash, right? Yeah. Fire Emblem, I'm not a fan of it. Doesn't mean I don't think it should exist. It has really grabbed a really strong market and a strong grip in Nintendo and Nintendo fans. So this kind of makes sense, because again, if you were in Japan, or if you were not in Japan, you didn't have access to this game. So this is kind of like a low-hanging fruit, probably, to be able to introduce the West, right, the North American market to this game. So it actually really does logically make sense. And if you're a Fire Emblem fan who hasn't had access to this, didn't have a Super Famicom, and didn't know how to translate Japanese, this is going to be cool, right? So that's awesome.
It also gives hope to the other games that didn't get translated over, that hopefully one day will.
Okay, that's not the game I was thinking of. There was a game that released in '99 called Thracia 776 that was released for the Super Famicom that only sold 158,000 units.
Yes, and I want to point out something that you said, a phrase that you used, and I think this is, I think it's important, is you use the phrase low-hanging fruit. And could it be that we see Nintendo coming in with a lot of that this year, in particular because of all the delays that the pandemic has caused? And so it's easy to do a remake of a Super Famicom game. It's easy to do a 2D Donkey Kong. It's easy to do a 2D Metroid that's already in the can. It's done. It's easy to do, as another rumor on here talks about, more 99 games.
Yeah.
It's easier to do all of this because it's low-hanging fruit, right? And it's not about that they don't want to work. It's about what they can do.
Yeah, because of the pandemic.
Because of the delays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, I agree with that. But we do have to remember that like game development takes more than a year for a lot of these games, right? So these would have had to been in the pipe for a while.
I know that, but I guess what I'm saying is that other things are delayed.
Yeah.
So it's easier to push out these things.
Sure. Yeah. 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 It's interesting to kind of see, and that was, where the question is, where are we actually going to start to see the actual impacts of COVID in relation to game releases, right? I don't believe we fully have seen that yet, right? Because a lot of things that were kind of on docket to be completed probably got completed and things got pushed out a little bit as well. So it'll be interesting to kind of see where it shakes out, but I do think there is some probably low hanging fruit. But again, game development is hard, right? We all know that. Sure. It does take a while as well. Another game that they mentioned here as well is actually Super Mario Party 2. So this is actually very interesting. Where is it here? I and numerous others see it as a test for Super Mario Party 2 online. From all accounts, the game should be ready for a holiday release and an E3 announcement once again, extremely likely. So that's another one that they're definitely saying is on the way. More 99 games as well. Yeah.
So I can see that one as kind of likely, especially since it just got that out of the blue update for online a couple weeks ago. But I think for a lot of people, Super Mario Party 2 is going to have to step it up because of the lack of content in the first game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I think it's such a weird thing too, like to make that update for it to be online and then like 3 weeks or 3 months later, or just essentially 2 months later, saying, by the way, we're announcing a new one. That does feel like it would cannibalize any kind of momentum that you may have associated with it.
But it also feels very Nintendo.
Oh, exactly. Right. Like, hey, let's put out ARMS and now let's put out Splatoon. And you're like, okay, cool. So you just killed that game fully.
But I mean, it does. The Mario Party online added on, like so many voices were like angry about Mario Party not having online capability that Nintendo came back and said, okay, we're going to add on online. And then we finally got it.
Yeah, but 2.5 years later.
2.5 years later. And then like 2 months later, it sounds like the rumor is that they're going to announce another one, right? I believe the strategy is you've already got an install base, and this sounds really like super, super corporate-y, but I believe you monetize the bejeebus out of those people who already have it, and you create a season pass.
I don't know that they need a Mario Party 2.
No.
What they could do is add in 3 or 4 more boards with some new mini games.
Yep.
In a $30 add-on pack with some new characters, and you've got Mario Party 2.
Yep.
Because honestly, Super Mario Party's fun. I get the complaints about it, but I still enjoy playing it. I know a lot of other people who do.
Yeah.
I just think it needs a fresh coat of paint.
I got my developer brain going on right now. If this is true, sounds like they took the Mario Party 1 engine, added stuff to get Mario Party 2. Part of those updates was adding network support, and then they went back and retrofitted it into the first one because it's the same engine. So why not?
That's an interesting approach too. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Ninfrendo, hoping it's a 1.5 update for Mario Party. That's a great point as well. I like that. All right. A couple other things to talk about. So that was kind of like what they know to be true. what the known is. There are unknown quantities, and the unknown quantities they're saying is Zelda 35th anniversary, and based on reliable sources, it's a Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD bundle. I think that's kind of the one that everyone's talking about the most, that people seem to want. Again, I think that's, I don't want to say low-hanging fruit again. Both those games exist on the Wii U, right? So it just kind of feels like it's a little bit of another port over as well.
People are wanting me to play the Wii U version because that's when they'll announce the Switch version.
Please do.
That's been the running gag for over a year.
I would love that.
Yeah. Wind Waker, I think, is such a fantastic game. Such a fantastic game. Yeah. Twilight Princess was all right. I never got fully into it, but Wind Waker definitely had me as well. The other one that I mentioned here is an unknown is Detective Pikachu. It was actually interesting. They're saying here it was announced with a literal JPEG 2 years ago at a Pokemon conference, and we have not heard anything since. Regardless, we think that would be coming soon as well.
They're taking the time for Danny DeVito to get his lines right.
Right. He's got to get his lines right. Got to get his lines localized. Then the other ones, the big ones, is what they're talking about here. Breath of the Wild 2. No. If any Nintendo game was affected by the pandemic, it's this one.
I think that's exactly right.
And the next one, the other one. So I do think we will get an update about Breath of the Wild 2. I just don't know what that is. But if they do not show Breath of the Wild 2 at E3, like that feels like such a potential miss. Like that is a close the show. That is and before we go, one more thing, right? And we get a really good story trailer. We see a little bit of gameplay. I know, a little bit of gameplay, and it pauses at the end, and then the date just kind of fizzles up, and it's like November 16th, 2021, right? And then like, bam, we're good. Thanks very much. If we don't hear about it here, I think we hear about it in September when they announce the Switch Pro, and they announce it alongside with it as well.
If it's not at E3, it's going to be at the Game Awards.
Oh.
That's a great point, Tim.
Tim, let me. I like your craziness. I like where your head's at today. I like your energy. I like your beard. Let me ask you then: if they announce it at Game Awards, when are they releasing it?
That'd be March 2022.
So you're like, no, they're gonna stick to that. They're gonna land that date.
It's going to be their end of fiscal year 2021 game.
That's a banger of an idea.
Yeah, get 2 million in sales the week before the fiscal year ends.
Yeah. When did they announce Horizon Zero Dawn yet? The follow up to that?
They announced it, but there's no date.
Once they announce that, Zelda's gonna be like, yeah, we'll take that date.
Again.
Yeah.
I've seen have you seen that meme or whatever? It's like Henry Cavill is obviously like a Superman premiere, and he's like all decked up and he's got a suit on, and then like Jason Momoa is behind him, like running up to tackle him. And I've seen the one of like Henry Cavill and says like, what is it, Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever it is sequel, and then Jason Momoa is Breath of the Wild running up behind him. I was like, that's so spot on. And then the other piece of information they mentioned in this leak as well, Mario Kart, right? Mario Kart. And the commentary here essentially being the team's hard at work on a new Mario Kart of some sort, and they have been at it for at least 3 years. So that's the rumor.
I mean, I can believe that because of the lack of DLC for Nintendo's number one selling game.
And they've been known to do that. They go working on DLC, and then they're like, you know what? This is turning out to be a whole other game. So then they switch gears and make it a whole other game. So they've been known to do that as well.
Yeah. Oh, there were just so many new ideas and new concepts that it became its own game.
Right.
Yeah. And then the Switch version of 8 by itself should be passing the Wii within the next fiscal year. If not, honestly, first quarter or two.
This would be a great time to segue into that question that I asked. I just, when I threw up the Patreon poll this week, I thought, you know what? I'm going to try something new. I'm going to ask a question each week and just see what community engagement we get. So the question of the week this week was this: Mario Kart 9 has been announced. and you are able to put one character in, who would that character be and why? And while you guys are thinking, I want to run through a few of the answers from our community, both on Patreon, and we'll see if any came in on Twitter as well. Shiv UK says, I'd add Banjo and Kazooie. Be a nice callback to Banjo's first appearance in Diddy Kong Racing. Another chance for Nintendo and Microsoft to play nice and set the correct expectations for the real title of the game, Super Mario Smash Kart Ultimate.
Galaxy XL Deluxe.
With Knuckles. Yes. Joe says, I would add Tom Nook to Mario Kart. He would get a bigger boost with all the coins you collect on the track. To which Jesus Amada replied, it would give the coins something more to do. Maybe Tom Nook can collect more than 10 coins. John says, Birdo, Super Mario Brothers 2 always needs more love, though the Brutals are probably the low-hanging fruit for this one. At this point, I'm convinced Nintendo will release Mario Kart 9 in the last year of the Switch's life cycle, so they can then release Mario Kart 9 Deluxe on the next system. Michael Mancher says Bowsette, to which Jesus Amada replied, as much as Bowsette would make for a lot of people happy, Nintendo is for good little boys and girls. Too bad Bowsette isn't canon, or else Nintendo would have to add them. Third Strongest Mole says it comes down to Wart or Tatanga for me. Yes. More Mario villains. Much as I like Wart, Tatanga would be more unique and would be able to retrofit a spaceship into a cart. Give the other Mario villains a chance, Nintendo. Shannon Eno says, for sure I'd like more Zelda representation in Mario Kart. If I could only pick one character, Tim, this is for you, it'd be Samus. We have Link, so we need other series representation. Actually, I am a firm believer that Mario Kart 9 should become Nintendo Kart and load the game up with Nintendo IPs. Nintendo Kart Ultimate, everyone is here. Solo Something says, Candy Kong, I grow tired of all these debutante princesses. And K9 Cantina says, Skull Kid from Majora's Mask, wearing Majora's Mask.
Oh, wow.
Unique Zelda character from a title that doesn't get much representation in other character titles.
Wow.
Titles. Those are some really, really good.
Those are great.
Really, really good.
I love the ultimate cart idea.
I do too.
Bring in the whole Nintendo IP type thing.
Yeah. Like I wish they would go there, but how willing are they to go there?
That's a big undertaking, of course.
It is. Absolutely. So what about you guys? You have one character you can add to Mario Kart 9. Who's it going to be?
I got what I think is a deep cut. Mike Jones.
Star Tropics.
From Star Tropics.
Nice.
Okay.
So that's going to the Nintendo.
Is it going to be the Sub C? Is that going to be his cart?
Sure.
The sub that he rides around in?
I didn't think that far ahead, but sure. At least it could be an option for anyone to ride it.
Well, sure. You'll be included with him. Tim, what about you? I know Samus has already been taken.
Yeah,
it's
that's
okay
fine.
If you say
Samus. Put in the code 74.
No, I was trying to think of a character
747, and something happens.
That would be within the Mario Brothers world that hasn't been in there yet, and so I went with the Hammer Bros.
Ooh.
I thought the Hammer Bros would be cool, and especially with their weapon that being theirs specifically, being the hammers and stuff. Plus, you could have variations of the Hammer Brothers, where I think there's different variations of them. So there could be, Boomerang
Hammer,
Brothers,
Fire, Boomerang, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that would be a cool character to have. Yeah.
I love it. That's a good one. Justin, what about you?
Man, I got a couple here. I want to recognize one of them here. I just saw on the chat here, Professor Egad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's from Malik JC. That's a great one. That's great one.
Why has that not happened yet?
Right. The one that I go to, which could actually be a variant skin potentially, would be Captain Toad.
Yes.
right? Captain Toad needs a little bit of love.
With a mine cart.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I love it.
And then the one I went to, though, I was like using the model of like Super Smash Brothers, like everyone's here methodology. Also, Jesse, super disappointed in you not saying Tingle. That is super disappointing that you didn't say that. But my response is Crash Bandicoot.
Oh my gosh, that's not even Mario. That's not even Nintendo.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, if we're using the ultimate version, everyone's here.
Yes.
Yeah, like, and that would just be like the final capstone on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I got 3.
Of course,
because I can. The first one was my initial gut reaction was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
Sonic deserve. I mean, I know
that's why they need to do the
Sonic
ultimate
Racing
version.
Transformed. Yeah. I know they get that, but Sonic and Mario Kart, it's it is what it is.
Yeah.
The other one is that I want is another deep cut would be Excite Bike Racer.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would love to see an Excite Bike guy in there.
Will his model be blocky voxels?
Yes, absolutely. Like, or it could be 2 versions. Like, maybe it could be an updated one, and maybe it would coincide with a new Excite Bike game. I don't know.
Excite Truck. I want another Excite Truck. We were talking about that in the community.
Yeah, the other one.
Put an Excite Truck in a racer car.
The other one is Paper Mario.
Yes, that's a good one. I like
Although
it.
I don't know how you would do it, because like when he turned to the side to race, would he get thin and you just have a line
that would be awesome?
He just like slides himself between 2 cars perfectly, zipping past them, and it just like pops out.
But like, tell me that a Paper Mario track would not be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That'd be pretty good.
Yep. And like any of those characters, like a Sonic, like a Green Hill Zone, you're driving through it. Loops. It adds loops to the game.
Guys, I'm getting really excited for E3. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like these kind of brainstorming, because it's not all going to happen, but man, it'd be nice, right?
It is fun.
Which means we probably should be doing an E3 prediction show soon, shouldn't we?
You know what? It almost sounds like we should be bringing on some guests to have those conversations.
We should.
Maybe next week, maybe Andre Seegers from Game Explain should join us.
Oh,
and
that's a good idea.
Maybe the week following, the 2 guys from Nintendo Pals could join us on the 27th of May. Oh, and then did I mention maybe the week? You know what? The week before, maybe we should have Sean Capri from the Xbox Drive join us.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
And then are we doing the typical thing here and during E3, the big
live reaction
show? Is that Roger?
Listen, I'm working on that one. All right, I got 3 done. I got 3 weeks. I got 3 weeks worked through. All right, simmer down.
Hey, I understand. Well, guys, those are our rumors. Let's move on to a couple of discussion topics here.
Let's do it.
So we have been talking lately about the Nintendo Dads 2021 Video Game Hall of Fame, and we have an update for you from last week. Of course, last week we went over several folks' choices, and we're going to go ahead and I'll run through those, and then we'll get to that update. Justin picked NHL 94 for the SNES.
You're welcome,
Jesse
Chris.
Said Dragon Quest 3 for the NES. Mine was Mario Kart 8, whichever version you want to pick, Wii U or Switch. Tim says Chrono Trigger for the DS.
And also say SNES. They're pretty darn close to each other.
That's true. That's true. John Zablanc said Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the NES. Drew picked GoldenEye for the N64. Sean picked Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the SNES. Dan said Donkey Kong Country for the SNES. And John Datfast said Harvest Moon for the N64. Weighing in this week, Nick says Animal Crossing for the GameCube. Gary picked Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins for the Game Boy. And From a Time That Land Forgot, or A Land That Time Forgot. That's what I was trying to say. From a Land That Time Forgot, Zach Erickson picks, and I love this pick, y'all. It's genius. Wii Sports. That is our Nintendo Dads.
Is that the best-selling Nintendo game of all time right now?
I believe so.
We'll have one. We'll have more update next week when we have the tally on the community's votes for
That's
their
what I was going to get to.
Yes.
So we'll add your community vote, which right now, as we speak, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is in the lead, which means that a lot more people with good. Is it Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
No, that's. I'm updating my page. Nope, it's now tied between. Let's see, PAC for the SNES and Super Mario Brothers 3.
I've never even heard of this game until 3 or 4 months ago, when it blows up on like every Discord channel.
Oh, Jesse, just listen. Just let it go. Let PAC.
Let it go.
It was Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for a little bit. You still got time to vote over on our Discord server. Go to the NinDads podcast channel. Let your voice be heard for next week. Go ahead, Justin.
I'm looking at our Twitch chat, man. I love the folks in our Twitch chat. Solo Something, I see you. Ninfrendo, Third Strongest Mole. Thank you. So many people in here as well. Daily Planet, I saw you as well. If you've got your Nintendo Dad's bingo card or scratch card, Ninfrendo makes a fantastic recommendation, which gives you a little bit of the Justin energy, which is every time we say NHL 94, take a drink or shot of something and see what happens. And we're hoping that by the end of the show, you're going to be really excited.
Chris NHL would have alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Seriously. Justin, where are we on the DQ poll?
You know what?
Get DQ?
You should definitely get yourself a Blizzard. They have a Girl Guide cookie mint Blizzard. Do you guys have that in the US? That's really good. That's really good.
What you call it?
Girl Guide cookie.
Girl Scouts.
No, that's a Girl Scouts. Girl Scout cookie.
Girl Scouts.
So we're not as progressive as you yet. We still call them Girl Guide cookies.
You guys are just guides. We're sending our girls out. They're scouts. They're scouting the enemy.
That sounds very American. That sounds right.
They've been Boy and Girl Scouts for over 100 years.
Anyway, but yes, I had one of those the other day. They're
wow,
fantastic.
83% said yes to do that.
Do y'all have Strange Brew in Canada? Solo Something asks, or do they really have Strange Brew in Canada? So Strange Brew is a movie in Canada starring Bob and Doug McKenzie. I don't know. Is it a beer that you're referring to here? Solo Something? Strange Brew. Do you guys know, is Strange Brew a drink in the US?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, Solo Something.
I know let me movie, know. But
shout it out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
while beer.
Let me introduce this next little topic here. This week, Nintendo's president was quoted as saying this: "We are unable to produce all the products we want to." This was in response to a comment made about the semi-conductor shortage that is going on worldwide right now, that's affecting tons of tech companies. It's definitely affecting, it's been pointed out as probably the number one reason that PS5s are not more plentiful right now in the wild. I know there's some people who are still searching for those. Guys, it's been 6 months or more, and you still can't find a PS5 on the store shelf. It's nuts.
That's why I had them available earlier today on the website.
They did for like 2 seconds. Jesus says this: semiconductor shortage. Overall, I feel like we're feeling the effects of the pandemic even more now. These chips are not the only shortage at the moment, which, by the way, didn't know if you knew this, ketchup is the newest shortage in the pandemic. It's affecting not just ketchup, but sauces worldwide that have a ketchup base.
More specifically, the packets, the to-go packets, not the bigger things.
They're having to make more ketchup packets because of more takeout. So more ketchup is going to the packets than going to anything else, which is crazy.
I think Matt Pat's Food Theory channel talked about it last month.
He says this: other items, some more trivial than others, are facing shortages. Seem like they're going to start affecting us even more. Nintendo seems like a savvy company when it comes to not spending money, but they're going to have to face more trouble when they cannot meet demand. How do you keep investors happy when you cannot produce enough product? A video game takes years to develop. They can't just pump out games now to keep us happy while we buy time to make more consoles. The question is, what else could Nintendo do to help buy time while we develop more consoles or keep fans abated? You want to know what my answer is? Lore, books, animation, television shows, movies.
In other words, diversification.
Diversification of their IP.
Yeah. Do you remember? And I mean, the answer here is relatively simple. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you back a time when this podcast was just in its infancy. We were just a young, budding podcast with energy and enthusiasm. And yet we decided to come out during the Wii U. And that didn't really sell a lot. So Nintendo was forced to diversify and to move into different areas to try as much as they can to keep you engaged. That's where your mobile game strategy came out. That was where you saw them talk about getting into theme parks. So they would probably need to diversify. So Marty is right in regards to keeping people interested as much as possible.
They also can go back to doing an improved virtual console.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
which has been rumored, by the way.
Yep.
And even though they released less games last year than, say, 2019, 2020 still had like record profits, like not just in the last 10 years, record profits, the number one profitable year in the 130-ish years they've been a company. So hopefully they think this can't be sustainable, because there were reasons why we have high profits and lower costs than the previous years, but still, I'm sure with the I think their investors are pretty happy right now, the way they are.
Yeah.
Well, and something to think about too is this: before we, start raising our pitchforks and our torches, Nintendo is not the only company that's going to feel the effects of this, or that is feeling the effects of this. It's going to be industry wide.
Yeah, it's not even
so. If their
beyond
profits
that,
go down,
like automobiles are going to feel it.
Yeah, exactly. If
Toasters
their
are going to
profits
feel
are down, so are Xboxes, so are PlayStation profits. It's going to be down everywhere. Now, where do I think that we see a gain during this time? And I want to spit because I hate this. Streaming services, game streaming services. When you can't build a box, use the technology you have.
Yeah. So why not have Nintendo encourage or invest into their cloud-based streaming platforms?
Maybe they are.
Why not continue to promote your digital distribution channels that do not require a semi-conductor?
Yep.
So,
which lends itself to the virtual console thing.
So Nintendo is actually in a okay place, right? Where PlayStation and Xbox are behind the ball. Nintendo is actually kind of on top of or in front of the ball, right? Nintendo's already got the install base.
I wouldn't say Xbox is behind, because they're really getting good momentum on their Game Pass.
Right. Sorry, I meant in regards to the shortage of systems in regards to the semiconductor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But their strategy though is going beyond that though to their boxes. So with the Game Pass, that you can play that anywhere beyond the Series X and S.
Yeah.
So yes, they might not be able to sell those, but you can play them elsewhere.
The thing is that despite a semiconductor shortage, Nintendo seems to be releasing a new color variant of the Switch Lite. I'm just saying, like, they're able to get those out there when the other companies aren't able to get their big box out there. So
they just had excess. They just had excess green or gray ones. And they brought it over the paint shop, and some poor person's just like painting it blurple.
Again, and it's possible that they just had a surplus of parts, buying in bulk because they know they're going to need them, which will eventually dry up.
Mm-hmm.
That blue, yeah. I know the lights don't sell as many as the originals or the regular Switches. So,
yeah, it's about 1 in 3 sold as a light.
Yeah. Well, guys, we can just check out what's going to happen. I think Nintendo's going to have some, as we've already kind of talked about, like Some big announcements at E3, definitely to chart the course of the rest of this year and going into 2020 even. But we will have to wait and see. And it's actually really close, guys. If you think about it, E3 is
30 days away, less than 30 days.
Right?
Guys, like, I am so hyped. And here's the crazy part. We don't have an actual, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have an actual date and time for when Nintendo is doing their E3 presentation yet, do we?
Not yet.
Correct.
Do not.
I think.
Like, where is that schedule? And I know we got an email today about being media and getting access and that kind of stuff. Like, there's like, so that, and we know who the hosts are. There is information. We see more vendors being added, but like, where is the schedule? Like, cause that's, I don't get
That'll
it.
probably be coming soon.
Well, yeah,
It's got to be coming soon.
The only one I have on the calendar is Ubisoft on Saturday. So
Yeah. Like,
if others have been announced, I haven't seen them.
when,
Well, and EA is like, you know what? Forget it. We're just going to go in July.
yeah.
Oh,
When
yeah.
does it run until too, by the way? What's the start date on it again?
12 to 15?
12. So 15 is the Tuesday,
Yeah.
right? So 12. So wasn't it like 12? I mean, 12 to 15 would have been normal anyways. And then the floor opens basically on like the Wednesday through. Like, the floor becomes open on the Tuesday.
I didn't think Nintendo always went on the last day. I always thought they
Nintendo
went on the
always goes
second
on
day.
Tuesday.
Yeah, they always go the
Yeah, but
morning
I thought
before
that
the...
I thought the show kicked off like Saturday for a few small indie devs, and then went into Sunday, and then like Monday you had bigger third parties, and you had Nintendo, then you had Microsoft, then you had Sony.
No, Nintendo has always been Tuesday morning
maybe I'm
before the
wrong.
show flow started.
Yeah, because then the show floor opens up as Nintendo basically finishes off.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we'll have to see what happens. Let's talk about a couple of events.
Do it.
Hey, Tim,
Yes.
why don't you tell us about what's coming up on May 21st?
Yes. So speaking of E3, the community is going to be talking about their predictions for E3 at the dinner table. So any Patreons who want to join in and are on our Discord, or if you need to get into Discord and want to join in,
Jesse
Was right.
Sorry, I hit the button by mistake.
You just wanted to say it.
all right then. So yeah, but anybody wants to come in and talk about E3, the community will be discussing that then during the dinner table. So come join us.
May 21st. What
Yes.
time?
10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
Oh, you're moving up this month
Oh, it's usually most of the time it's 10 p.m.
for Eastern? I thought it was like 11 Eastern.
Nope. Only we did it at 12 one month because it was a crossover for the Dad Crossing show.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we had to do it for Sean. And then there was, for a while at the beginning, it was 11, but that was at the same time when the Nintendo Dads used to be at 11. So when the Dads moved up to 10, I moved this up to 10.
Gotcha.
So
Shows how much I know. Jeez.
I was
Get what
trying
you
to move
want.
it up closer to 10 so that I could try to get Drew on, but because he goes to bed at 10 and hoping that maybe he'd stop in for a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Jesse, why don't you tell us about some Pokemon Go events?
Okay, so I talked about the Luminous Legends X event that's a few weeks ago. That's still in progress until Tuesday. Then starting on Tuesday the 18th, the Luminous Legends Y event starting at May 18th from 10 a.m. to May 24th, 8 p.m. local times. Yveltal, there. So yeah, no, I normally pick on Marty, but
Can I
you
just
pick
say
on
right
me.
here, I've never heard you not be able to pronounce a Pokemon.
Yeah, that
Need to mark that one down and clip that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yveltal will make his Pokemon Go debut in 5-star raids. Pancham will be hatching from 12k eggs. Dark-type Pokemon will appear more frequently in the wild, and the new Pokemon from the Luminous Legends X event will remain in spawn rotation, so there are 3 fairy types that will still stick around. Part 2 of the event will go from May 25th 10 a.m. to May 31st, 8 p.m. local times, Sylveon will make his Pokemon GO debut by evolving an Eevee after earning a certain number of hearts while it's your buddy. The details hasn't been announced yet. That's all they've told us. And during this event, Eevee evolutions from the first 2 generations will appear in 3-star raids. Then finally, June's Community Day has been announced. June 6th, featuring Gibble, and more details will come out in a few weeks before the event.
Cool.
I know a lot of people have been wanting to get more Gibbles, so this will be a chance.
I need so many Gibbles. Let's talk about what we've been playing, shall we?
Do it.
Tim, why don't we start with you since you're just typing it in right here?
Nice. We're good. That's awesome.
I love it. I had to look. Usually,
so you're trying to type it in
right
there. Fine, I'll just go off my notes here.
That's cool. That's cool.
My notes,
what you've been playing
right here on my Switch. All right, so I'll try to be quick too. So, but playing some more ice hockey. We play that every week. The Nintendo, on the Nintendo Online system for the hockey league that we have in the Discord, and I suck at it. So anybody who's been playing me, just know you're going to get an automatic win. So
I tried that game once and didn't understand anything at all.
Yeah, I saw someone in their 2 games scored almost 50 points.
Yeah, it was. I end it because there's a mercy rule we have. Once you get 10 points above whatever my score is, it's a mercy rule. So I'm just like, okay, we're done. I know I'm not going to catch up. So you won. So it's usually after the first period. So I just can't get good at that game for whatever reason.
I remember back in the Monthly Mayhem, I've played, I think it was Drew, and we did have the mercy rule in effect for like 6 points above.
Yeah.
But we never, I still lost, but I never was down by 6. So we played the whole game through.
Yeah. I can't, what I get caught up in is the goalie part, because the goalie is controlled along with the other players. So if I'm trying to control the other player to try to do something for defense, it's also throwing off my goalie to try to, and then I get scored on. So, and I keep forgetting I have to go back to the goalie to watch that in order to prevent it. So anyways, so I've been playing that and been trying to get better at it, but it's going to be a slow go for me, at least for a little bit there. But playing more PAC-MAN, just a little bit of PAC-MAN 99, especially when trying to test the Fusion Pro wireless controller that I got from PowerA. So testing out the D-pad with the PAC-MAN 99, and it just lets you know it works great.
Nice.
The D-pad is awesome and it should be awesome for $100 controller. So playing some more Asphalt 9, the racing game. So again, I was playing that to test out the controller as well, and still loving that racing game. It's always getting updated as well. In fact, it looks like they're adding a Fortnite type tiers season type thing, where you get a season and then you got, you can kind of do like a Fortnite type thing in there. So I'm going to be looking into that once they get rolling with that. Some more Mario Party, since they got the online, but it was more at home. Some more local play since they did the online. Played some of that with Sammy, and again, Sam says hi, everybody. I've been playing, let's see, not that one yet. Oh, some Super Mega Baseball 3. I've been playing the demo of that to try that out, because we do have a baseball league as well. And actually, that is a really fun baseball game. Been checking out the demo and had a lot of fun with that. So I'm thinking about picking up the full game for that one as well. Playing some more new Pokemon Snap, and I got past the reveal of the surprise character. So I know, Jesse, you were wondering if I would get to that point yet. So I did get past that point.
So did you know that he was from the first game, or you wouldn't have known if I didn't tell you that?
I remember you guys telling me that there was a surprise character, and then when that character showed up, I looked him up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, there he is."
Okay, so you still didn't know right away.
I didn't know right away, but I was suspicious of that, the way everybody was acting about it. So, which was really cool to see, and then also I read up on that character and what else he's done in the Pokemon
he
universe.
makes comments that the machine you arrive in looks a lot like the one he used to use.
Yes. So that was pretty cool. I've also been playing a game called Drive-By. Yeah, so I can talk about that. It's been out. So, and I'm going to do probably a stream of that one. But I've been playing it to check it out. And that one is, again, you don't have to pay anything yet. It doesn't look like, but you do have to buy the game. But it kind of feels like a setup to Fortnite as well. The way they set it up, where you can buy a car, not buy a car, but get a car, go online, play with other people, not 99 people, but like 4 other people in cars. And it's kind of got a Twisted Metal feel. So if you've ever played a Twisted Metal game, you drive around and you're shooting and destroying the other driver and trying to get whatever the goal is of that particular game. Because there's 4 different types of styles of games that you can play within this racing battle game. And one of the game, you got to get the most money. So you're going around trying to collect money, and then you're trying to shoot the other drivers to get their money. And then when the time is up, if you got the most money, you won that round. And then you get points. Every time you win, you get more points to be able to buy more things for your vehicle. There's a piggy bank one where you got to go steal the piggy bank and drive around with it for the longest time. If you've had it for the longest time, you win that round as well. Then there's a delivery service version of the game where you go and pick up packages and then have to deliver them around town. But the other opponents can destroy you and take those packages and deliver them for you. And again, if you deliver the most packages, you win that round.
As an Amazon delivery driver, that just sounds horrible.
Right. So it's actually a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to play it some more so I can accurately, talk about it while I'm playing, because I didn't want to learn it and stream it at the same time. So I wanted to learn how to play it first and then stream a little bit of it. And so be on the lookout for that. I'll do a stream of that. And then finally, I been playing World's End Club demo, and I beat that one. And I know, Jesse, you played that one as well. And I'll let you go into that in more detail, but I'll just kind of briefly say that it was nothing like I expected it would be, but it's definitely something I want to play when the actual game comes out at the end of the month. It's because it's a quirky game. It's a platformer, but it also plays like it has a lot of talking narration like an RPG does. So it was very interesting, very different, and I like it because it was different. So I'm looking forward to that game. And then, so those were what I was playing, and be on the lookout for 2 other games that I'm going to be playing that I can't talk about, but I can tell you I'm going to be playing, which is the RWBY Grim Eclipse.
Ruby.
Thank you, Ruby. Grim Eclipse. And I know that's an anime type show, but I know nothing about, but the game looks cool because it's hack and slash. Again, I haven't played it yet, so I'm not talking about it. I'm just talking about how it looks because the trailer's out. And then the other game I'm going to be playing is Beautiful Desolation, which is a post-apocalyptic adventure where you have to make some choices and solve some puzzles. And I guess one of the things they pointed out was, although it may look like some other games, like post-apocalyptic games, it's not going to play the same as those post-apocalyptic game. It's more of a narrative, story-driven game where you interact with it, you explore, and you solve some puzzles. So looking forward to playing that. Again, that game is Beautiful Desolation. The other one is Ruby Grim Eclipse, and that's a hack and slash type game. So
I think that game came out today.
It did. Yep.
So yeah,
I was going to try to stream it earlier, but
yeah,
nobody wanted to stream it with me. So
it's out there if you want to check it out. Justin, what have you been playing?
Fortnite and Apex.
That's it?
Yes.
Awesome.
I have finished. I have finished my Fortnite Battle Pass fully for this season.
20 levels behind you, buddy.
Yeah, and that's it. And so nothing right now is super catching my fancy, but I will tell you that Knockout City coming out next week definitely has my attention. So I'm very excited to get a hands on that. And I should probably start trying to work on my backlog, but I keep just playing Apex. So I might have a problem.
Yeah,
I'd recommend Dragon Quest XI.
You should probably.
Well, apparently, I'm going to be able to tell you how that is. So.
Good. I'll wait for your review. Yours is the only opinion that I'll be looking for.
Yeah. Note: I didn't play it in 2019 when it came out, but if I did, that would have been my game of the year.
Okay. Well then.
Awesome, Jesse. Golly, you've been playing a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
he makes up for everything I'm not playing.
So just let's run through there pretty quick. What have you been playing?
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit more about the World's End Club demo. Tim, are you familiar with Danganronpa? Okay, because this is developed by, or at least in part by, the Danganronpa developers.
Okay.
And that first chapter that is the demo is very Danganronpa-like. So I'm not surprised at all by how the gameplay is.
I loved every minute of that. So I was just like, this is freaking awesome.
And I have a feeling that's not how the whole game will play. I think each chapter will have a different.
It's very misleading how it begins, because you begin at the end of the game, it appears, and then it flashes to them all on a bus, and then you end up in an underwater water park. So. Right.
So yeah, I agree. I did like what I played, but I'm just saying my opinion is, I don't think the entire game is that type of gameplay. I think each chapter will probably have a different type of gameplay element. So
they do list it as a platformer too, so which intrigued me, especially because you see some of those elements while you're playing. But there is warning to anybody who's trying the demo: there is a lot of dialogue. So
again, Danganronpa-like. It's basically like a visual novel with gameplay, and this is so far very much similar to that. Yeah, so
I loved it. Some people got turned off by it though. Yeah. So
I didn't get far into the first Danganronpa when I tried to play, and I tried watching that anime and didn't get far into that either. So I need to try that again. Okay, next game is Poker Pretty Girls Battle Fantasy World Edition. I think this was like $5. So I'm like, okay,
wait, I thought this was supposed to be a Dads After Dark game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In fact, the first thing you see when it boots up is all characters are over the age of 18, though. There's nothing.
Oh wow!
R-rated about this. It's anime girls, and they're not even. They're just static images. So. But you're playing Texas Hold'em poker. Initially you are given 4 girls to play against in the what they call pretty mode, and you pick each one, and then it'll also pair you off against 2 other random people. So it's a 4-player game, and if you win the table, then you get a star and a puzzle piece. And in the first round, you beat each girl once, you finish the puzzle, and then you move on to round 2, which has 4 new girls. And this time there are 8 pieces to the puzzle, so you have to beat each girl twice. And I'm up to I have 7 out of the 8 right now. One of them is really hard to play against. Normally it's, I'll try to get money out of them, and then like I'll bet high to fold to make her fold to win the money, but she plays a lot tighter, so it's finding that balance of where to place the bets.
This is my first reaction Justin.
It's a poker term. It's a poker term.
Yes.
I am not being lewd here.
Hey, Jesse, Nanfriendo asks, is there an ugly mode?
There is not an ugly mode, but there is a free play mode that lets you choose which of the 3 opponents you are of the girls that you've unlocked. Initially, only the first 4 are unlocked, and then you can unlock the other 12, but you have to defeat them at least once first. So right now I have 8 unlocked out of... Huh?
Go ahead.
I have 8 unlocked out of the 16 because I have defeated each of the first 8 girls at least once. My problem is with this game, the poker play is poker play. They didn't mess that up. There are language options, like Japanese, Chinese, English might be one other one for the words and prompts on the menu. But the girls always speak Japanese, and there's never any subtitles. So when they talk at the end of games, and at the end of hands when they win, but I have no idea what they're saying. So I'm like, can you give me a little subtitle here? They probably have 5 lines of text each. Give me a little subtitle here. Anyway, so I'll probably still play that from time to time, but it's not a Picross game to me. Next one I want to talk about is Tested on Humans Escape Room. That came out today. I had an early access code, which I did a live stream on Monday. I was normally I only play an hour or so, but I ended up playing through the whole game in that one setting. It was like 3 hours, and I know not as many people listened to my solo show a few weeks ago where I talked about the other escape room game, Palindrome Syndrome, but the thoughts of the two are pretty much identical. I liked the puzzles. I was able to solve most of the puzzles on my own. I did have to look at a guide like 4 or 5 times out of like 30 or 40 puzzles. And I liked the puzzles, but didn't like the story. The story conceit that they laid out in both games that explains why you're kind of in the environment where you are. Didn't like how the story worked out, but I still liked the puzzles. And I think there are other escape room games by the same developer, I think MC2 Games, if I'm remembering right, that are out on Steam that will probably also come out on Switch, and I'll still get them and play them, and I'll probably not like the story either. But this type of game, you don't really play for the story, you play it for the puzzles.
Right.
And the last thing I wanted to talk about are, I mentioned this maybe a month ago. I bought Advanced Game Programming for Television. This is a sequel to the first book that was released in late 2018. It talks about more games, more game types and formats. There's more things with the graphics, and I typed all the programs in this book and played them, debugged them. In one case, I actually thought there was bugs in the code in the book, and so I debugged those. So I was able to then get them all on my flash card and play them on hardware. I might do a video, I don't know if it'll be on Nintendo Dads or on my personal channel, of me playing through the games from these books and kind of talking, showing them what in television can do with modern programming tools, and talk about my opinions of the games. So might be something I do this weekend. I might, if I get around to it.
Awesome.
That's what
Ninfrendo asks, is there a replay value to the escape room games?
No.
Or is it just one and done?
It's one and done.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. Awesome. So, Justin, maybe you can help me out here since you sent me these codes. Am I able to talk about these 2 games at all?
You can talk about Raising Hell, because that one is fine. You cannot talk about the other one. However, there's a demo out for the other one currently.
Well, then I'll just talk about the demo. Then.
So I think you can talk in those regards. Yeah, that should be fine. But I think your final review or final number, if you were to put something to it, would have to be at a bar. No, we don't typically, but yeah. So thank you for checking, by the way. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad. So just I've been playing a fun game called Rising Hell, which launches on Nintendo Switch on the 20th of this month. If you were a fan of Dead Cells, or any other roguelike games like that, then I think that you need to keep your eye on this one. It's about you basically trying to take over hell and defeat some demons, and you're a demon, and there's mouths and eyes and heavy metal music everywhere, and lots of blood and gore. And Tim, it's a beat 'em up because your main character, he has a gauntlet called the Hellbane, and there's like a typical attack that you do with that can combo, but then when you double jump, he kind of does like a uppercut. And if you hit any enemies when you do that in the air, he'll kill them and like bounce off of them and keep going.
Sweet.
And so the unique thing about this game is that all of the platforming is vertical. So you start at the bottom of a tower and you actually climb upwards. And I think there's a demo for this out as well. I'll be real honest. We got this code and Justin asked if I wanted it because it's a roguelike and I love roguelikes. I was not excited about this game. It looked kind of cheesy.
Was it Raising Hell or Rising Hell?
Rising Hell. Rising Hell. It didn't look like it was something up my alley, but I am in. And
it's 10% off if you pre-order
after a couple of the way it works is you have actual level progression, but the way you go through those levels, all the powers are different every time. All right, so it's a rogue light, not a rogue-like.
Okay.
And I think it's something you should keep your eye on.
I'm downloading the demo.
Okay. Well, I definitely should go check out the demo. And speaking of demos, there's a demo on the eShop right now for a game that if you are a fan of Overcooked, Moving Out, Tools Up, anything like that, you need to keep your eye on Very, Very Valet. This was shown off during one of the last indie directs, I believe, where basically what it is you play as a valet worker who has to stand outside of a restaurant or a venue and park people's cars and then go back and get them as they come out. And it's awesome. It's so much fun.
It's probably hilarious too, isn't it?
It is very hilarious. I played this with my son. We're going to have a video coming out on our channel once the embargo lifts. Just like you're driving off the top of buildings, you're hitting ramps, you're running people over on their way to deliver their cars, all in the name of getting 3 stars and a great score and lots of cash. It is 4 players, so it's great for couch co-op. Very, very a game that's very, very interesting. I think you should keep your eye on Very, Very Valet if you like that type of game, party game. The other game that I've been playing, thanks to DatFast, who sent me a Nintendo DS in the mail because I was like, I need a Nintendo DS. He was like, I got you, bro. And he hooked me up with a DS Lite. I've been playing the Mother 3 fan translation that I picked up because, guys, it's never coming out. I mean, it's not. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
Okay, you go ahead and play that game. Once you play it, it'll be out.
I know, and then it'll probably be a remade version of it, and I want to play it again. But I'm loving it so far. I'm about an hour and 45 minutes in, taking my time.
Another turn-based RPG,
and
just
I will probably wait. I'm going to pick up Dragon Quest XI because I asked, and you all responded. And yeah, so but I'm gonna play this one. I'm playing a spoiler-free walkthrough with it. So basically, I'm using a walkthrough, and it basically tells me the bare minimum of like what I need to look for and what I need to encounter without giving away story points. And yeah, I will have more. I haven't completed chapter 1 yet. There's 7 chapters in the game, so I haven't got to spend a whole lot of time on it. But I'm looking forward to. I'm enjoying what I'm playing so far. I loved Earthbound when I played it back on the Super Nintendo. And I've always been curious about this game.
There's Strongest Mole says no crying until the end, Marty.
I've already hit a part. But here's the thing. Like I have purposely, like I could have spoiled this game for myself so many times, wondering what the whole Lucas thing is all about, and like what's the connection and all that stuff. And there was a huge, Mother 3 part during Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U, or no, for Brawl for the Wii. And so like I could have spoiled. I've never read the story of Mother 3, so
Okay.
I haven't spoiled myself. So I'm going in fresh, and I'm really excited about.
I have no
tackling
idea what
this
you're
game.
talking about, and I don't want to know because I still want to play those games. I just
Yeah.
never got around to playing
Well, I'll
them.
tell you what. If you've got a DS Lite, I'll send you the cart when I'm done.
Okay,
You can play it. So
cool.
there you go. Well, guys, that's what we've been playing really quick.
Actually, before we move on, I wanted to do one quick demo. One of the chapters in the television book was to talk about programming in televoice.
Oh, okay.
So I did a little program of my own, and I wanted to play it real quick.
Nintendo Dads Podcast Episode 325.
Again, I did this 2 or 3 weeks ago, so that's why the number is
How long
325.
did it take you to do that?
Maybe a half an hour. Because I had to, each phoneme, I had to hand pick exactly which one I wanted and place it in the right order.
Wow.
If I wanted one to sound longer, I had to double or triple it. So yeah, it was a good chunk of code just to get it to do that.
That's impressive. I'm not going to lie, to get that out of that ancient tech. So now, let's flip on the community spotlight for just a second. All right, quite a few questions from Discord and Patreon this week. First up, Andros asked, what are your thoughts on the new Waluigi render shown in the latest Nintendo Minute video? For those of you who are not familiar with this, Waluigi is holding a rose in his right hand with his left hand thrown behind his head in the air, with his head cocked to the side, tongue out toward the rose, and his knees together with his feet spread right apart. He's just kind of sticking his butt out there. It's brilliant. It's fantastic.
I don't know what to
we
think.
need more of.
I thought it was great that Waluigi broke the internet. I mean, essentially, right? Like that was the important part.
It's very Kardashian. Yes, I agree. Can I give my real honest opinion here? We've got a brand new Waluigi render that's in like a normal view of him. We got a brand new Waluigi render with Mario Golf. We're getting a Waluigi controller. Waluigi's in Smash.
Is 2021 the year of Waluigi?
Let's go.
That's the question that we should be asking.
It's happening.
I don't
I
remember.
just love the fact that it's purple.
What?
I don't remember.
I just love the fact he's purple.
And there's a purple blurple Nintendo Switch.
Blurple.
Waluigi's blurple.
I don't remember which Twitter account asked, but someone posted the golfing image and asked, "Is this a leisure suit?" I replied with Larry Laffer says no.
Also, in the golfing outfit, you'll notice he has a glove on one hand and not on the other one.
I did not notice that.
The right hand is there. It's the right hand.
It's the details like that, you know?
Yep, there you go. It's the year of Waluigi, people. I'll call it right now. It's happening. Question for Patreon from Sparky. He says, hello, team. Can I ask you all if you have ever been blown away with respect to how the medium of video games has pushed artistic boundaries? I'm currently playing Inside on the Switch, and it's just a mind-blowing experience. The art and audio production are amazing. The creativity is mind-blowing. The animation of the lead character, a young boy, reminds me of when I first saw the animation of the Prince of Persia back on the Commodore Amiga. Stunning. And in this game, you really care for him and really don't want him to come to any harm. He's so vulnerable. It takes place in a dark and futuristic setting with dangers around every corner. The controls are simple but wonderful. This is the most moving and emotive experience I've ever experienced with a video game. Who knows, perhaps ever. Have you played this at all? If not, you simply must. Just unbelievable and one of the best looking games on the console too. That's it for me, but keep up the great work and look forward to hearing the show Sparky out. I think it would be cool here. What's a game that has just really struck you with its artistic vision? Either graphically, sound, story, it moved you?
I think for me, maybe Journey on PS3.
That was mine. I agree.
It's been a while since I played that.
I played. I 100% of that game. It was. I
have not played Inside. It is available for $20 on the Switch.
Limbo is the other one I played. I think is related to that game Inside, or made by the same company.
Same developer.
Yeah.
And I got the same feels for that one as well. That one was a really good one. It's very simple with the whole silhouette type thing. Very, get through that game in a few hours, and I liked it. It was a lot of games like that I really like. So it was very cool. And I should say also Shinsekai Into the Depths was another one that I just artistically in the audio production, especially the audio production, because of being underwater. Play that game with headphones, you sound like you're underwater in a good way, in a suit and doing all the things in there, and just very atmospheric and all that kind of stuff. And the graphics were great on the Switch. It's even on Apple Arcade as well, so you can play it there as well.
Yeah.
Marty, what about yourself?
For me, mine's going in a completely different direction. Like games that strike me are that typically tend to be games that push the boundaries, not graphically, like as far as like excellence in graphics, but like a different takes on different characters. So for me, like Wind Waker is huge. It's my favorite Zelda game, not just because of the story, but because how gorgeous it is. The other game that came to mind as I was reading this question was Yoshi's Woolly World and Yoshi's Crafted World. Like, I love those two games for what they were able to do with common fabric and cardboard and things like that. Like, I love those interpretations of that, and I love it when Nintendo gives their teams a little bit of stretch room on that, that they're able to take a game. It doesn't always have to fit the formulaic direction, but story-wise, I think the most moving video game that I've ever played is Chrono Trigger. Just the connection to those characters that you have by the end of the game. That's a game that, like, I go back to now and I'm like, man, you played that as a teenager and you didn't realize what was going on. Now you play it and you're like, God,
especially because
such depth.
Yeah, in the end game, every character has an optional subquest that can be completely skipped if you either don't want to do it or completely miss it. But they all fleshed out every character well.
Absolutely. One of the best written games of all time. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think with the Retro Logic guys, we were all debating whether that should be one of the Retro Rewind games, because it is a harder game to find, or in a good way, because you can get it, I think, on Steam, but it's not a good version of it, I guess, from what I understand. But
I know. I think they patched it to do some of the bugs, but I bought the Steam version a while ago, but I haven't played beyond the first hour of it. So
I'm thinking that I think we should probably do the Retro Rewind on that game.
I think that's one of the great travesties of the modern console here, like the generation consoles we're in, is that and Final Fantasy, a lot of those older SNES Final Fantasies are not available.
Yes.
On a modern console. So there you go. Justin, what about you, man?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think there's, Inside, I think, is a great example of it. I think a game even like Celeste, right? And I do think when we talk about art, we very often think of art or segment art into the pieces of it, right? So whether it's a graphics, whether it's a music, whether it is whatever it is. But I think when art is holistic, I think video games are holistic things, right? So I think that a game that just kind of emotionally grabs you, right? And Marty, you talked a little bit about this, right? The emotional journey, the place that you go with it. And I think that what I'm finding more and more, despite my games that I've been playing, Apex and Fortnite, I'm drawn more and more towards like story, narrative driven, emotional games, right? And I think, Inside is a great example of it. I think Celeste, even portions of Oxenfree that I've began to play a little bit of as well. Just games that kind of just emotionally kind of wrap you in and tell a compelling, amazing story. I think is really interesting. And I think games that can make you feel a certain way or think differently, put you in a choice that makes you feel uncomfortable, I think are kind of good things for us. And I think that the debate conversation of whether video games are art that occurred like 25 years ago, I think has successfully been able to say, yes, it is definitively an art. And as a matter of fact, that kind of very much aligns with, like, I think it's like this week or something, the Tribeca video games. There are games being entered into the Tribeca Film Festival basically as art, right? And it's like, I think 6 games that are being put forward as these are pieces of art like a movie is, and you need to watch them and you need to be engaged with it. So I think it's fantastic stuff.
Gotcha. Well said. One last question to round out the show here. This one from Chris Logal. It's for you, Tim.
So you know what this is about.
Here it is.
Yes.
Can you believe that according to a very reliable Twitter poll, over 70% of respondents would pay $10 or more for NHL 94 Rewind on Nintendo Switch?
Oh my gosh.
Aren't these results really game-changing for EA and Nintendo?
Yes. I know Chris's goal is to get you, Marty, to say NHL 94 Rewind as many times as possible, but also I do agree with him that it boggles my mind the money that's being left on the table in regards to this game for Nintendo. Not Nintendo. Nintendo has nothing to do with it, but for EA, especially EA Sports. I know they've talked about their unwillingness to put sports games on Nintendo platforms because they say their fans, their audience, go to other platforms to play. But I think they're going about it wrong. And I think they should look at the prospect of looking at the people who are playing on the Nintendo Switch and see that the potential of doing, like we see, what Nintendo does with the arcade archives or with the virtual console type setup with their NSO games, or even the collections that Konami brings over or any other things that EA is missing out on an opportunity to bring over the classic sports games, either just bringing those straight over or bringing them over with a newer roster. And those would work just fine on the Switch. But I think what they might be afraid of is what they see with FIFA is they bring FIFA over every year, it seems like, right, over for the Nintendo Switch. But and there's some good numbers on it because of the portability, but they don't give it as much love as they do FIFA for the other systems because those sell more and people go to it and get more out of those games. But there's still an audience there. And I think if they had the right mentality of simplify the gameplay with the FIFA type, look or whatever, or even if you went back further and had the older graphics, 16-bit or better, but had a newer roster or whatever and some better mechanics, improved mechanics, that I think it would work on the Nintendo Switch and their audiences. So I think that's what Chris is just trying to get at. And I'm also supporting that because I am a sports game fan, even though I'm not as good at ice hockey as I want to be. But being newer and better controls is what I am a fan of. And I think those with the 16-bit era type EA sports games coming to the Switch would be a good fit, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we're wrapping up the show here, Marty. I just want to say this quick thing in the chat here. I see that Mecha Dragon, we got your email. We're going to add it to next week as well. So Mecha Dragon, thank you for that. Saying you, I know you always contribute. I appreciate you. We are going to add it to next week's show, however.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am full 100% in favor of all games coming to Nintendo Switch, no matter their genre.
Yeah, just like IGN's April Fool's 2019
video.
All the games.
I really think that it will. Like, I think NHL 94 Rewind will come to the Switch. I like, and it'll just randomly show up one day. It's not going to be like a hoot and holler and fair about it.
No. It's gonna be...
Well, hold on.
Everything
EA has
except
been,
for the Disney Afternoon Collection.
Well, EA has been very vocal in communicating when they put stuff on the Switch to kind of saturate their shareholders. Yes. I wouldn't be, and it may be one of those things that in the July and EA event they're going to announce, we're bringing 6 more games to Nintendo Switch next year, and this may be one of them.
You just said the words there. I think that Chris and I need, and any other sports fans need to be, in order to get this done, and that's become shareholders. So we need to pool our money together, become shareholders, and then put our votes in.
Even if you just hold one share, you have a stake in the company.
Correct.
You have a voice.
I've got some shares. I think John's got some shares.
There we go.
EA?
No, not in EA, but in
Come on, Jesse, keep up. Keep up. All right? God, frick.
Yeah, EA.
I thought we were talking about Nintendo still. Sorry.
Not a problem. Guys, that has been episode 326 of Nintendo Dads. We want to thank you for hanging with us through all of this nonsense that we put out every week. And we want to thank you, say a huge thank you to our community. You guys are so awesome. And a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Chris Mears, Dave Ernsberger, Antonio Contronio, Christopher Waring, and Solo Something. You guys are extra awesome. You know who else is awesome? Over 5,450 people who subscribe to us on YouTube, and now over 1,000 people on Twitch. And we want to thank you to the 24 Twitch subscribers we have who also get access to our Discord communities and activities thanks to a Twitch Prime subscription or a Twitch subscription. If you want to know more about that, you can contact him. He'll help you out. Guys, be sure to go over to our merch store on nintendodads.org and buy up some sweet shirts. Summer's coming. It's time for the Nintendo Dads tank top. It's time to bring out the guns. It's time to live out all of the summer goodness with us right there
pythons,
with you.
Brother.
That's right. 24-inch pythons. You got to say your prayers. You got to eat your vitamins. All my little Hulkamaniacs.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong guy. Anyway, you can go find our store over on
Macho
our
Man
website.
for the tag team.
Nintendo Mega Powers. I got you.
Yeah.
NintendoDads.org. Find all of our social media tweets, podcast episodes, all kinds of stuff over there. And just like Mecha Dragon, you can send us an email at nintendodads@gmail.com. or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. And we also want to say sharing is caring. So tell other people about the podcast. Spread the love of Nintendo Dads wherever you go and wherever you listen to us. Be sure to give us a written review and a 5-star rating. It helps people find the show. It's not to stroke our ego, I promise. You can just type some words. Or you could say things like Jesse or Justin or Marty. Just our names. That'll be fine too. You can say, happy birthday, Marty. And here's a 5-star review. Whatever you want to do. It's there. It helps people find the show. It pushes us up those charts is really what we want. We want more people to listen. So for me, for Justin, for Jesse, and Tim, this has been episode 326. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Nintendo Dads Podcast.